What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trend or Trap, presented by TrendsCenter. I'm your host, Dan Karpuc, and today I am flying solo for episode 20 on Tuesday, March 24th, 2026. I've got a great show lined up, and I'm going to break down 3 trends or systems straight from the TrendsCenter app and decide one simple thing. Is it a trend or is it a trap? Let's get right into it with debate number 1. The Pelicans at the Knicks. And I'm looking at the over-under here. Let's start in New York. Here is the system. Over the last 30 years, when a favorite of 9 or more points won their last game, and they're facing an opponent that lost their last game with a total of 220 or more, the over has hit at a 57.55% clip. So the question is, trend or trap? I'm going to call this one a trend and lean towards the over. Here's why. Since the All-Star break, both of these offenses have been trending in the right direction. The Knicks ranked 9th in offensive rating in that span, while the Pelicans are right behind them at 11th. The big X factor here, DeJounte Murray is back for New Orleans. His return has completely stabilized New Orleans offensively. He's handling more of the playmaking load, which is opening up Zion Williamson for easier looks at the rim, creating cleaner perimeter looks for Trey Murphy, and allowing rookies Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen to make their impact off the bench with less on their shoulders. When you combine the improved efficiency on both sides with a high total already baked into the line, this checks out as a spot where the data and the matchup align. I'm going to go with the over and the trend here. But before we move on, a quick word from our friends at ProfitX. New users who sign up at ProfitX with code TrendsCenter can take advantage of a 20% purchase match up to $100, helping you get started with extra bankroll right away. If you're seeing trends or systems like the ones I'm talking about in this episode and want to tail them, ProfitX is the place to do it. Eligibility, new users only, 19 plus only, available in most states. Check the terms and conditions for full details, and remember to call 1-800-GAMBLER if you need it. Debate number 2, Nuggets at the Suns. I'm looking at the spread in this one, and here's the system to think about. Over the last 11 years, road favorites of 5 or more points after game 70 of the regular season have covered the spread at a 57.34% rate, generating over 46 units of profit. So, trend with the Nuggets minus 5.5, or trap with the Suns plus 5.5. I'm going to stick with the data again and say this is a trend. I'm going to go with the Nuggets to cover at 5.5. This matchup is all about style contrast, in my opinion. Since the All-Star break, the Suns are playing at the slowest pace in the NBA. The Nuggets are playing at the 4th fastest pace in that span. But here's the key. Efficiency beats pace. Denver owns the best offensive rating in the NBA this season, and post-break, they're still top 10. They rank 7th. Meanwhile, Phoenix has improved defensively, but they're coming into this game shorthanded. Mark Williams, Dylan Brooks, Amir Coffey, Haywood Highsmith, those are all rotational guys, are already out. Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal are questionable. They might be really shorthanded if those two guys miss. Denver, on the other hand, is surprisingly healthy outside of Peyton Watson. They've been dealing with injuries all season, but not so much heading into this one. And then there's the biggest mismatch in this game of all, and that's Nikola Jokic. Earlier this season, in 2 meetings against Phoenix, 14 points, 14 rebounds, 15 assists in a 133-111 win, and then 26 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists in a 130-112 win. Not only that, he generated 38 potential assists in those 2 blowout wins. So the offense is going to flow through him once again here. Denver shot 51% and 58% from the field in those 2 earlier matchups and really controlled those games. So I'm going to ask the question, who on this Suns roster, especially with Mark Williams out, he's the guy with girth, he's the guy with length down low that could potentially do something against Jokic, at least protecting around the rim. Who on the Suns roster is going to slow Jokic down? The answer is nobody, and this line probably isn't high enough as a result. So I'm going to go with a trend and back Denver at minus 5.5. A quick word from our friends at Better. New users who sign up at Better with code TrendsCenter can get 2 no-sweat tokens with up to $200 back in bonus entries plus a free pick. If your entry doesn't hit, you'll get your stake back as bonus credit. With just a $10 minimum deposit, you can unlock up to $200 in no-sweat entries and start playing player props right away. All you have to do is go over or under for certain stat categories. Over $250 million has already been won on Better. The question is, are you going to be next? Let's head into debate number 3, the final debate of the episode. It is opening day, Yankees at Giants. This game takes place tomorrow on Wednesday, but we're going to look ahead because we already have 11 systems and trends listed on TrendsCenter right now, so definitely check that out. Here is the system that I want to discuss. In Logan Webb's home starts over the last 6 seasons, when the Giants' money line is between -200 and +190, so almost all of his starts, the under has hit 39, 23, and 1. That's 62.9%. So trend with under 7 or trap with over 7. I'm going to go the other way and actually say this is a trap, and I really like the over. Now, on paper, this may look like a classic underspot. First of all, it's Logan Webb versus Max Fried, so 2 aces on the mound. Pitcher-friendly park at Oracle. Historical under trend backing it up, like I just mentioned. But I think this is where context matters more than history. Let's take a look at these 2 projected lineups that these teams are rolling out. First, with the Yankees, Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, Ben Rice, Giancarlo Stanton, Jazz Chisholm, Ryan McMahon, Jose Caballero, and Austin Wells. That's some serious pop top to bottom. Yes, you can make all your jokes that you want around Aaron Judge and the WBC and all that kind of stuff, but going into the regular season, he is still one of the best players and best hitters that we have ever seen, frankly. And this lineup is very balanced top to bottom. Not many platoon advantages, if any, that are available here for opposing pitchers to come in and really shut the door. And I really like the upside that this lineup is going to have. Now, going to the Giants, a team with historically not that much pop, that of course has to do with the field that they play in, but let's look at this lineup as well. Julio Ramos, Rafael Devers, Matt Chapman, Willy Adames, the newcomer Luis Arias, the 3-time batting champ. He's going to hit probably in the middle of this lineup. Gerard Encarnacion, Jung-Ho Lee, a lot of upside there. I really like him. Harrison Bader, who's going to probably platoon. Patrick Bailey batting 9th at catcher. So this isn't a weak lineup. There's plenty of pop there too. Don't forget about Rafael Devers and his history against this Yankees team. Yes, Oracle Park leaned under last year, about a 55% hit rate, but not enough to blindly follow a trend at this number. And the key factor for me, it's also opening day. That means that there's probably going to be shorter leashes for starters. I don't think either of these guys is going to throw 95, 100 pitches out there. It would probably be capped around 90. Bullpens might be getting involved earlier than usual. That usually favors offenses with some higher volatility. Of course, these guys all throw 100 miles an hour to the bullpen and could shut the door. But you have to think, if Webb and Fried get out of the game early, you have to think that offenses are going to benefit from that just based on how great those 2 guys are. So I'm going to go with the trap and say over 7 is the way to go here. And that's going to do it for episode 20 of Trend or Trap. We went 3 for 3 today, hopefully here. Pelicans, Knicks over. I went with the trend. Nuggets -5.5. I went with the trend. And Yankees-Giants under. I went with the trap, and I lean the over there. If you enjoy this format, breaking down real data and figuring out what's actionable versus what's noise, please make sure you're locked in to the TrendsCenter app. And as always, don't just follow trends, understand them. Like, rate, subscribe, do all the things. Share this with your friends, share it with your family, share it with everybody that you know. I'm Dan Karpuc. We will see you next time on Trend or Trap.